Hi, Nia, Khalid.
Hey, Real, it's Khalid.
Hey, Khalid. The link in the invite was not working. I had to go to the email. That one worked.
Oh, and the calendar invite. Okay, let me try. Yeah, let me send the follow-up email. Okay. Calendar invite one, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Welcome, everybody. We need to give it a few moments. The link and the invite was not working. And so Khalid is reaching out or fixing that, and we'll give people a moment to get into the meeting, okay?
Hey Google, was anyone buried in the Sphinx? I'm not sure. I found some before. When did I go to the Sphinx? You want to hear it? Yes. On the website at local.com,
There's everybody. There we go. Hi, Melody.
Hi, Real. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Hi, Mr. Almanor. Mr. Roberts.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Well, it's a warm day today, and today you're wearing a hat.
Yeah.
I
Good
was
boy.
outside today, so it was very nice.
Yeah, I was inside all day. I didn't even notice how warm it was.
Wow, yeah, it was. I went out to walk for an hour, back and back home.
All right, we'll give it 2 more minutes, okay, for folks to come in, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, let's get it
Hi,
better.
Rain.
Did others have issues with the invite?
I actually went on the website myself.
Well, the website works, and then the email works, but in the calendar invite did not work, so we'll give it a minute then.
Love my lights. Ooh, it's feeling a little chilly.
Oh, I didn't see that. Hi, Ms. Randolph. I hadn't seen you yet. And Ms. Foster?
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
I'm with Adult Education. Just wanted to come on, check in with the community.
Fantastic. Would you like to have an opportunity to address the committee, or you just want to listen in?
Yeah, just 2 minutes, that's all.
Okay. So we'll you know, why don't we just give you an opportunity to do that early in, and then you can decide whether you're going to hang in there or whether you want to go on with
I
your
can hang. I can hang.
whatever you want. I know people are busy, so
That's no problem. I haven't been with you guys in a good while. So usually, pre-pandemic, I just hit the streets and,
yeah.
visit the schools and the other community meetings. So it's good to see faces. I'm sorry I didn't do my hair, so sorry to show my face.
That is all right. Hi, Ms. Randolph. You're on mute, Ms. Randolph. I'm not sure if you're saying anything. All right, we'll get started momentarily, okay? So I have to kind of switch screens a little. Always looking at the camera. So give me 1 second. Just putting the minutes on it. In front of me, and we'll get moving. All right, it is 7:09. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Let's do a quick roll call to make sure we record who is in today. And I'll just go off what I'm seeing here. And while we're at it, why don't you quickly introduce yourself, because we have Ms. Foster with us today as well. Hold on a second. Yes. Is that the full agenda? Great. Thank you. Ms. Randolph, obviously present. In quick introduction.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm here, and I live in the community.
Great. Mr. Almanor?
Yes, Nicholas Almanor, I'm a member of Board 9. I'm a former teacher from the City Board of Education for the last 35.
Great. Mrs. Worsley, Leanne, are you on? Oh, no, she was on. She's not on anymore. Maybe she'll find her back. Mr. Roberts? Oh,
I didn't mute it. That's the mic is muted.
yeah, so I was still muted. Well, you can hop back in if he is back in. We'll leave him as present for now. And Melanie?
Hello, everyone. So I am a member of the committee. I work in community. I've worked in for the DOE, and I currently work in higher education.
Great, thank you very much. And Ms. Foster, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Community Outreach Liaison for District 79 Adult Education.
Great, thank you for joining us tonight. Mr. Cummings, welcome. Would you introduce yourself?
Sure will. Sorry I'm late. Good evening, everyone. Maurice Cummings from Councilmember Alika Ampry Samuel's office. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to be taking some notes today as well, so if I pause for a moment, that's what I'm doing. My name is Riel Pierbooms. I'm the Executive Director of Trailblazers, a youth services organization in the community. And we have an office on Rogers and Empire, run after-school programs, used to pre-pandemic, day camps and overnight camps, focused on kind of CEC 17 and Leffers Garden community. Let's see, did I get everybody? Oh, Demetria just joined us. Can you quickly introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Demetria Farrow. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going? Miss you guys.
Hi.
Welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Great. Mr. Cummings, do you have any particular announcements to make? Just seeing where I can put you on the agenda today, or would you just like to, or are you just joining us for the evening?
I don't have anything specific other than our offices are still open for constituent services via an appointment. We are still following all COVID protocols. And we also have PPE to give away here at 400 Rockaway Avenue. That's about it. I attended the book fair last month. It was really nice, and I got a couple of coffee table pieces, a nice wrestling book.
You scored, yeah, you sure did.
I did. And I got the Bobby Brown biography.
Oh wow.
More importantly, though, it was an opportunity to just get out in the community. I live on Montgomery between Nostrand and New York. So it was a nice, beautiful day outside. I got a chance to meet some really good people, folks that I've seen via Zoom. It was actually nice to be in front of them physically, safely, and socially distanced. And I'm always here for the information to pass on to my council member and to the community abroad. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. 1 second. All right. So we are going to get this meeting underway. We have some catch up to do. The first thing I want to say is apologize for my absence last week. One of those days where I just got wiped out, and I just had to call it a day early, unfortunately. So I apologize for that, because sometimes then it's not on the month until we get to meet, but it had to be that way. So let's go through our agenda. We start with our usual topic reports. Chair and CEC 17 report. There's a couple of things that I wanted to mention and perhaps also discuss today as part of potential projects that we could take on. But the first thing I want to say is really compliments to Demetria in particular, and everybody who assisted during the book fair, because I think it was just a great example of something simple that is just, it's just wonderful. And Mr. Cummings, I couldn't agree more, being in front of people and seeing some people, meeting, in my case, meeting for the first time ever in real person, in real life. So I thought that was really wonderful. And clearly, community residents appreciated it. It's always amazing seeing people walk by and really free? Yes, really available. And so, Demetria, you did an amazing job putting that together. I hope that that can be a kind of community Board 9 education committee staple, just to do that on occasion, so we can get back to see whether we want to plan another one of those. Mariana, are you with us? I think I called you out earlier, but you had dropped off.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Okay, good. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Hi, sorry, I'm having some computer issues.
That is all right. Just a couple of things that are kind of on my radar as I'm listening to what's happening in in the community and anything kind of education related. The city recently learned that New York State did not approve its waivers for its testing waivers. So elementary schools and I'm not sure middle schools, but certainly elementary schools will be required or expected to test to do their usual April and May English and math tests. I haven't heard a lot yet from the DOE directly on what that is supposed to look like or what the timing of those tests is going to be. I certainly have opinions as an educator myself that I'm not sure if that's the best choice. While I understand that we need to assess how schools have been doing, effectively that means that kids now will kind of be moved into test prep. I'm hearing from certainly my own kid's school, and I don't think that is a particularly good use of time or good use of supporting our kids at the moment because this pandemic is clearly not done yet. I'll keep my ear on the ground if there's any kind of advocacy or any kind of involvement that we can have. Certainly, my personal take on it is that we should not be putting kids through full day tests at the moment after they just went through a year of having to go through remote learning or full remote learning or hybrid versions. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Any comments in regards to that?
I definitely don't think that kids should be burdened with the pressure of having to, after not being in front of a teacher and being able to get a full, clear, and comprehensive, schooling, so to speak, should not be burdened with the pressure of taking a test. I don't think that's right. Maybe if they could, if school, I don't know if schools plan on opening back up before the year is over, but if it's something that they need to put off, maybe into the summer, unfortunately, maybe, I just think that so many children have fallen behind because every child learns differently. And I know most children would prefer to be in the classroom just to be able to ask questions, to bounce ideas back and forth, to be able to have that camaraderie and, continue to develop those social skills as well at all different stages of their school careers and lives. I think they definitely need to be back in front of teachers before we put them under the stress of trying to take a test and saying that, them getting promoted or whatever the circumstances are depend on whether, how well or not they do in this particular test. Personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't think that the testing is going to be used for any kind of decisions on the students on whether they can be promoted or anything along those lines. But more what I'm told is that it's more focused on trying to understand where kids are at large and to kind of assess what needs to get done. And I certainly get that. I'm not sure if the state tests are the right vehicle to do that. And then on top of that, there's been no comment as of yet what happens with the full remote kids, right? They can't even take the test, right? Presumably. So it's a little unclear. Melanie.
Yeah, I have a question. So are they expecting students that have been remote to go in person to take the test?
That's right, unknown. And so what I'm hearing from the principals at the moment is that the word has come down, that testing is going to happen in some format, but there's as of yet no guidance on what that looks like.
I'm wondering if they use this is just me talking, but I'm wondering if they use the specialized high school admissions test as a precursor to see what that might look like. Because my understanding, and I wasn't aware that apparently the specialized high school admissions test was open this year. I wasn't aware of that. So it was open apparently to all students. I didn't know that. And somehow I didn't get that memo. And, so I don't know how many people showed up for that test, but, I don't know, I'm just.
Yeah, I know that test was delayed. I think you had some weather delays. And I haven't heard anything recently. I presume it happened.
It
When you
happened
say
'cause
opened, what do you mean by opened? What
I'm
do
sorry,
you
say-
mean by opened?
Open to everybody. I mean, isn't it always open to everybody? What is the difference?
It's
Well,
always
my
open to
understanding is-
everyone.
my understanding is students that have like a certain like if they were referred to like do the like special programming and preparation for the test, and they had been seen as a student that could potentially take the test, that those were the ones that took it. I don't work for them. I don't work for the Shazat. I don't know. We invited them. They'll be here next month. But yeah, I don't really have much information.
If I may say, it's always been open. The test has been open to everybody.
Okay.
The way,
Yeah.
the way it works is that the junior high school guidance counselor at the city get the information. Some school will choose and pick which kids they're going to send. Activist parents that are aware of the system will get their kids there.
That's right.
Okay, but it's always been open to everyone in the city.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification, because I knew it was something about that. Yes, certain kids. Yeah.
Maybe it's so some schools offer like programs to gear students up for this exam. So maybe there was more announcements made to parents, to the community, like, hey, we're doing this test prep. If you want your child to participate, come and participate in it. But the exam is open.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, that due to the nature, it was just more broadly announced and people had to kind of, could just, more easily or maybe more aware that they could just apply to it instead of having it filtered through the school. Yeah.
I'd like to say something in terms of the test prep. Some communities do that privately. The Asian community usually start preparing their students 3 or 4th grade earlier. They usually have Chinese school, that's part of what they do. There's an official prep where they admit a few students. Actually, I used to teach one of those prep schools. They used to do them actually at Brooklyn Tech. I had working there for the summer for a couple of semesters. And I think that might have been the same thing for the other specialized high schools. But there was a lawsuit, but that test prep was technically to students of color primarily, or students that didn't have the mean, that it was very limited until there was a lawsuit which was brought by Asian parent and a white parent, and then this prep was open to almost everybody. The last time I worked in this program, that was a few years ago, the program, like Brooklyn Tech, had become mostly Asian. Okay, the first time I started, it was not Asian until after that lawsuit. But it's a very limited seat for people to get into that program. I think for the life of me, I can't remember the actual name they have for it. But there used to be one, definitely. I know there was one at Brooklyn Tech that used to be there on Saturdays. So, but I don't know what that's doing here now. But I know certain schools that are pipeline. For example, Mark Twain. A lot of the kids that come from Mark Twain, the kids from the gifted and talented program usually are pipeline for this kind of school. And I know one school in PS 189, the bilingual school on East New York. That's been a school that's been concentrating. They've seen quite a few kids who to specialize high school because there's nobody they always prepare their kids for. So there's a mishmash of what, there's not an organized or uniform way to really get those schools especially.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the city's trying to address that, right? Just to remove some of those barriers. So we can, so hopefully we'll be able to get that group join next month, and we can have some more conversation about what that, whether we need to organize something for our community around, getting more resources or just more awareness to the program, et cetera. So. Good. Just a couple of more announcements from my end. There is the CDC announces as well. There's a series of workshops that the Department of Health in New York City is organizing around poison control and safety prevention. I'll make sure that the CB9 office sends that out. And so workshops that start in March, mid-March. Actually, most of them are in March. So I'll make sure that goes out as a resource to the and send out by the CB9 office. 1 second. Similarly, there's some CSC 17 announcement in case you haven't seen them. The CSC is partnering with the Child Mind Institute to host a series of mental health and wellness sessions for both adults and kids, and dealing with everything that we all have to go through, being at home, remote learning, etc. And so I think that's a great initiative on their part to make sure that that parents have access to something like that, because this obviously is all taking a lot longer than we had anticipated. Participatory budgeting is coming by, hopefully maybe by next meeting. We will have an idea of what those projects will be that the public can participate in. Both Kumbo and Eugene participate in this process and participatory budgeting, and so I'll leave this on the agenda to revisit next month. Hopefully, we'll be able to see a list of the kinds of projects that both Kumbo and Eugene are putting up for a vote. And then finally, as part of the city budgeting process, there is a rally tomorrow, March 10, to promote youth services and promote budget priorities for youth services at the city level, followed by a youth committee meeting, city youth committee meeting on March 11th. And I'll send out that information to everybody if you want to join either that city youth services rally tomorrow or want to listen in on the city youth services meeting. And so that's where I guess the focus is on specific youth funding initiatives. The one that I'm particularly interested in hearing myself is what the status of SYP is going to be moving forward. Because unless maybe somebody in the call here has more information, I haven't heard or seen yet that that it's approved and funded. All right. I have a couple of other things that I'd like to discuss and when we look at a calendar of potential projects, some ideas I had, but we'll get to those shortly. Okay. Let's see, any updates from the library group, library topic, either Demetria, Mr. Roberts, or Lorianne?
I just wanted to compliment you guys on the book fair. I heard it was amazing. Someone I know passed by and she was able to get some books. And I was just like, oh, I need to tell them that I heard it was really good. So congratulations to you guys for putting together that book fair. Unfortunately, I couldn't help out at Saturday, but you guys did a great job.
Yeah, they really did. Great. Thank you. Youth and Education Liaison is Beverly. She's not with us today. Richardson Liaison Committee, Miss Randolph, did you have any opportunity to check in with the Richardson office? You're on mute.
Yes, I did. This was in January. Okay. And I did call him to see if there was any updates from our January talk. And one of the things he talked about was, I'm talking about Dwayne Joseph. He's a special assistant to Assembly Member Richardson.
Okay.
And he said one of the problems that they had with the educational council was that they didn't make the project their own, and instead of taking ownership of it, as well as to make it work. The impression I got was that they were dependent upon Assembly Richardson to really give them, I guess, more direction and to kind of guide them, and guide them directly. Or even, I don't think they may have misunderstood what the job entailed, because I know I had originally thought about joining that committee. Then I said, no, I don't know what they have to do. So they probably didn't find out what they were supposed to do until after they joined. That may have been the problem. All right, Assembly Richardson has allocated $1 million in her budget for capital or technical improvement for mainly the schools in District 17. In June 2018, 100% of monies were assigned to the school. However, they have to do some paperwork and they have to look at their own budget analysis before the monies were assigned to that school. The line of allocation comes from the state budget to the city budget and is assigned to a specific allocation to the DOE budget, which is not to be included in the general budget. So that money could not be taken and moved somewhere else. The process is slow and is stopped due to COVID. However, schools must, in doing their paperwork, which I didn't understand, and doing their paperwork before any work is done, it begins, I'm sorry, did I miss a line here? I think I did. They have to do the paperwork and they have to also use their own budget for this project. And they are reimbursed, for using, the money that was in their budget. My question was, suppose they don't have enough money in their budget to do this.
Mhm.
What's that? To me, that creates a great problem. And then after they have gone through the complete process, then they will meet with the school authority because the money is allocated in a school authority's account. And then the principal and the PTA or PA representatives, they will meet then to discuss the details of the project. And the other thing he said that he also feels that after school programs are needed in the district. However, Assembly does not obtain funding for these programs. That concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Ms. Randolph, the $1 million, what year was that? What fiscal year was that allocation?
Oh, those have been in June 2018.
Right. And so that was all assigned. Yeah, I mean, and typical, I understand what you're saying. The typical processes for capital improvement monies do take very long and is very paperwork heavy. And it is, it is not uncommon, I think, that these things get allocated but actually never expended because the paperwork doesn't get done by schools. It's similar for discretionary funds from council members as well. And my impression is that not everybody's able to actually finish the process and actually get the money in because it is very paperwork heavy.
It is. I was talking to him. I was saying, oh my goodness. Although I do realize that it can be done. When my children were in school, I was part of the PTA, and we did have to meet with the school construction authority, and to discuss. And they were very helpful. One thing I did learn from the school construction authority: do not take less than what you have.
Right.
Because we were giving up a building, and he was saying no. That building had a cafeteria, so we should have two cafeterias. We had a building in two locations. So when we lost the other building in one location, and they joined it, it should be maintaining the cafeteria. So they were helpful in what you should accept or not accept.
Great. And did Mr. Joseph, you talk about Richardson's office wanting to restart an education council? Is that something that they're interested in at the moment, or is this not a priority for now?
It's not, I don't think it's a priority. They are interested in restarting one. I
Yeah.
think they have learned, from this one, some other things that they may have to do to make sure that, it works. But he did say they want to start another.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think too soon.
Yeah, and then perhaps it makes sense once we still need to get in front of the principals, and I think now I think the time it's a better time to try to do that when I mean, things seem to be a little calmer for principals at the moment, and we can start thinking about the getting the information from the principals and what their needs are for September, and perhaps it's a better time to then also engage with the Richardson office again.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Randolph. Any other questions? Okay. Let's see, the library, I think, okay, that is it. So, Ms. Foster, would you like to share your report with us?
Yes, but before I forget, if you guys have the book fair again, I have like 2 boxes of books. My niece was an avid reader, and I've been trying to find some place to donate or give them away to. So let me know. Keep me posted.
Dimitri, would you say that they should be dropped off at CB9?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
This weekend.
I too have 2 big boxes for my rotating out a whole bunch of books on younger ages. So
Yeah.
And Dimitri, there were books left, right? I don't think everything. There's lots left still, no?
Yes, we have a lot of books left for, hopefully we can plan something for the springtime. But we have a lot.
Let me know. I'll post it on our Facebook page.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so I'll make this quick. Again, good to see you guys are still in operation and just working on supporting the educational efforts in your community. With our remote learning program, we used to do classes at MS61 on Empire and also at MS2 on Parkside. Of course, pandemic wise, we were had to switch over, do that pivot to remote learning. Fast forward 12 months, our students are becoming more adjusted, more used to the online platform. And keep in mind, of course, we're dealing with older adults, and that was a challenge in itself to not only get them used to the technology, but submitting assignments online and emailing their teacher instead of talking with their teacher. So the silver lining to all of this, I'm glad technology got moved to the forefront, because just being in the community, I knew how important that was, especially for employment, no matter what level of employment you're in. So in a way, I do see the benefit of the adults seeing the advantages of learning how to use the computer and interact with technology. Right now, our high school equivalency classes, we offer daytime, evening, and Saturday morning. We try to continue our flexibility in our program so that anyone who wants to pursue their high school equivalency can do so. We don't have any space right now in the program, so we're waitlisting folks. And within District 79, since we're all doing remote learning, we're starting to refer out to the other boroughs who have online class programs. So hopefully the wait list will be moving quickly. English go ahead.
No, I'm saying, with the remote setup, right, it doesn't matter in a way even what borough you take your classes in.
Yes, that's the beautiful thing. It's one adult ed. And with ESL, that still proves to be a challenge. The technology barrier is very real for a lot of the students and parents that we serve. So we're trying to do our best to accommodate them. The good thing with our classes, you can access it through your phone, whether it's an Apple or Android phone. Our teachers try to, just extend the classes to them and meet them where they're at. WhatsApp, surprisingly, was very useful in communicating with our ESL students. And, we're just continuing to encourage them to, stay connected with their classes online. We still have space available in the daytime. I'll send you guys a flyer. I have it in English, Arabic, and Creole. Of course, some literacy in English is always, always a plus just to, communicate, with the teacher. Not all of our teachers are bilingual. But, they again, extend themselves to, make the classes possible. And career training, unfortunately, it's still on hold. We do require, a physical school building to carry out those classes. So as I receive word as to when and how we will reopen in person, I just got an email this week that high schools will be returning to the school buildings in the coming month. I think this month, actually. So I am kind of in wait and see mode as well. We're going to make every effort, of course, with social distancing, just like K through 12, to welcome back our students. And again, I'll keep you guys posted as I receive more word. But that's all. Just want to let you guys know, adult education, we're still in operation. I don't have official word, but I don't see remote learning going away anytime soon. So if you know of any community members, they want to improve their education, I'll leave my email in the chat. You can help me with whatever and whoever you have.
That's great. I'll add that to the minutes as well. And Ms. Foster, how can students sign up?
Well, the DOE, we have a district team that helps us with outreach and communication. You go to the DOE website, put in adult ed, and it has all the information about our program as well as a link. Once they click on it, they can select their language and fill out a form. And one of the liaisons, whether it's borough-based or just district-based, they'll contact them the same week to help them register for the classes.
That's great. Okay.
Oh, and one last thing. I just had an idea. I serve three other school districts other than District 17. And one thing I'm noticing, especially with, transition for the kids for remote learning to in-person, tutoring. Any tutoring support the community can provide the kids, I think that will go a long way. I know your community in particular is rich with a lot of educators, like Mr. Nicholas, who is retired. And I know they have a wealth of information and just skill in teaching to help these kids, bring up to standards. So that's just an idea. If you guys can, put together, I don't know, I'm just shooting ideas out, volunteer tutors for the kids. I think that will go a long way.
I think that's a great idea. It's on my list of other discussions tonight about how we can help the community access resources, particularly useful for helping their students get kind of transition back into in-person. For a lot of students, that will be until September, right? So the summer period, I think, is going to be particularly crucial to help students get ready to transition back into the building.
Yeah, and I've on our Instagram feed, I found there's going to be a tutoring workshop it's from an organization I've never heard of. It's going to be on the 11th. So I'll send that to you guys as well. Probably reach out to that organization yourselves or, just get some additional ideas.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Foster?
Yes, Ms. Foster, can you put this social media in the chat or something in the chat?
Sure. Love social media shout outs.
Thank you.
That was my added skill to my resume. I learned how to use Instagram. So let me see. I'll put everything in the chat for you guys.
Next up, TikTok, Ms. Foster.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I have not dare touch it. Thank you. All right, moving on. I don't think we had any open action items, number 3 on the agenda, other than some things that relate to the subcommittee reports. So we'll move on to subcommittee reports. The book giveaway, already praises have been sung. Is there, should we just spend a couple minutes talking, at least perhaps when we might want to do this again?
I was thinking, are you talking about the book giveaway?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking that we could do something in the spring when the weather's a little bit warmer, and when maybe around spring break, we have a spring break coming up, maybe something near that time.
How do people feel about the format and the location? Because I know we played around with a couple of different locations, and then fairly, last minute we thought, why don't we just do it in front of the office? How do we feel? How do we feel about that particular choice?
I like it. This is Lorianne speaking. I like it. The only thing I ask is if we can get a date down in stone, like more than, I feel like the last date it was changed and there were issues, but if I can get a date, I would definitely like to help out more. If I get the date like 2 weeks in advance, if that's possible. I know a lot of things were changed due to the pandemic and the cold weather and the snow, but if we can get like a rain date in case we can't do it on one day, that would be great.
Should we try and pick a day now? I'm happy to try and pick a day now.
What was the previous location? It was in front of the community board office?
In front of the office. Mm-hmm.
Oh, have you guys reached out to MS2 on Parkside? Because they have like a front-facing yard that's on Nostrand Avenue.
The corner of Nostrand and Parkside?
Yeah, I know, just from my community goings-ons, that's a pretty central, it's right close to Kings County. Everybody knows that little area. So, people passing by, especially if you guys do it on a Saturday, it might get more traffic. And I'm sure that there's a new principal there now, but I'm pretty sure she would be open to that.
Okay, so I sent a few emails out. I sent an email out to Mary from District 17. She's in the office. Hoping that she would send a blast out to the entire district. I really didn't get any feedback from any one particular school reference to the book giveaway. So I thought that having it at the community board office was the best way to go. If we could get some feedback from the schools saying that they are interested in participating,
oh, man.
We can go ahead and set up that location. But
I'm gonna see if I can help you with that, because I think this is a great idea. I wish I knew this about this this morning. I was on a parent coordinator call with the district.
Yeah, so that was the only thing that no one responded really. I sent an email to the flyer, just the flyer, just shoot me the flyer to many people, and I didn't really get a response. And I'm pretty sure it was because of the snow, because a lot of people thought it was canceled because it snowed. It was like every time we ran the giveaway, here comes the snow. So hopefully in the springtime, the weather would be much better when the kids are on spring break and they need some additional reading materials. Hopefully we should be able to give out some more books. But for the location to work, the school has to work with us. They have to respond to the flyer, share the flyer, and have their students come out and get some books. We have a lot of middle school books that the children can use. We have, I don't know how many books still in the office. At least about 400 books are still in the office.
Whoa. Okay. I'll reach out. Right now, I know they're in the middle of a big enrollment outreach district wide. So I think they're more occupied with that. And spring break is the last week in March. So I don't know how the weather's gonna look around that time. So I would, I think you guys should do it like the end of April or like mid-April, because there's not too much going on. The month of March for K through 12 is all parent teacher. Last week it was public school, this week's middle school, next week is high school, and then the week after that is spring break. So, there's a lot going on in K through 12. So like end of April, going into May, that's when I start to see a lot of like summer camp outreach, summer camp fairs. So people will be more willing to come out to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. The spring break is probably a little too soon, and both weather-wise and organization-wise, because it is only 2.5 weeks away.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize spring break was coming up so quickly.
Yeah, me neither. I always found out last week.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize that was on the calendar now.
Yeah,
It's coming up soon.
Well, you know, on that topic, also on the list, I'm curious whether, you know, we should think about broadening it and working on putting together a resource fair of sorts for summer activities, you know, summer camps, services, getting mediation services, because there's obviously lots available. I think, the city and the state has just green-lighted 2 weeks ago, green-lighted that camps can open in more traditional settings. And that means that, there's going to be countless number of camps who are getting ready to operate, and I bet we could get a fairly easily put together a roster of programs, both kind of support programs and camp programs in the neighborhood that would want to come out and promote, and perhaps then we combine it with a book fair.
Yeah, I know parents are itching to get their kids out of the house.
Yeah.
I think partnerships are a really great idea. One of the things that I liked about the location that we selected, that we ended up having to be in front of our actual CB9 office, was it was great for the aesthetics of the community to know that CB9 is still operating. I think there's a lot of people that are not connected to CB9. I think there's many people that maybe have never been to community board meetings. Some people pass it all the time and really have no idea what the office is and what our purpose is. So I think it was a great look for us as a community organization to have been able to do the book fair right there. And then keeping in mind, we want to make sure that we're in the community that we actually serve. So for those that pass by, I feel that they were, really happy to be able to meet those of us that were out there. And, people would stop and talk to us and ask questions. And I feel like that opportunity doesn't happen very often. I remember when Assemblymember Diana Richardson, she would have her event and she would be right there. But other than that, I never really used to see activity right at the CB9 office. So I just wanted to put that in. I feel like it was a really, really great look for us being able to be there. Of course, we did have a lot of books. So, location. I mean, if anything, we could probably use the space right across the street that Assemblymember Richardson uses for like the food giveaway. And it's a location at the school that the community is already aware of because they're already like getting food from there. So I just wanted to put that out there. And don't forget, Jackie Robinson Middle School is right there as well. And so I can contact them as well.
You know, I certainly agree with the point that for the community members to see an active community board office is really great. You know, and perhaps, you know, moving it across the street, if we wanted to expand it into something bigger, splits the difference. So it was still there. It still can be very clearly a community board, you know, supported event. Yeah, I mean, how do others feel about this? Is there appetite to try and put together a larger, you know, book giveaway / resource, summer resource fair?
What's the question?
Is there, how do other people feel about it? Is there an appetite to put together a larger summer resource, you know, book giveaway / summer resource fair?
That sounds like a good idea. That sounds like something we can do once the weather's allowed us to be able to be outdoors. I think that would be something that would be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and we need, obviously, then we need to, you know, we need to start working on that pretty much right away. I'd be very enthusiastic about that. I think that'd be a great thing to do for the community. I think the summer is going to be particularly challenging, you know, coming off the pandemic, presuming that things are going to continue to track the way they are now. Should have lost my train of thought there for 1 second. Oh, does it make sense just to pick a date then, or did it work backwards?
I
Like
think
May.
we should start thinking about a date and come back to it on the next meeting.
Well, the next meeting would be already April, right? So if we wanted to do something early May, then we would pretty much be, you know, have to start sprinting at that point. And then obviously we can also communicate it over email as well. If so, how about I throw out some suggestions and then we take a look at the school calendar and see what might make sense. You know, it would need to be a weekend, right?
That's
Saturday or Sunday.
That's what I was doing now, is trying to look at the school calendar to see what's going on with the schools. Yeah. Also, we need to find a way to get the schools to participate, get the schools to respond and send children to the book fair. I think that would be nice.
Yeah, you know, with more lead time, I think we can just do much heavier outreach to individual principals than we've been able to do now. You know, we have CB9 office has given me a full list of all the District 17 schools and emails, and so I think we can have a much more targeted effort to each one of the schools.
With the great insight from Julia, I think we definitely have to be looking at either May or June. That's all we got left.
Yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't do June simply because it's too close to the summer, right? They give people some time to kind of have to get some ideas for what their some opportunities are, because there's going to be things popping up especially for kind of summer classes.
I was thinking maybe June might be best, like the end of the school year, give them something to do, like books to read, because I remember my summers, I used to love going to the library and getting books. If we're pressed for time. That's only if we're pressed for time. I'm just thinking about that time.
Yeah, it might be too late for a little bit too late if you're trying to plan kind of summer activities for your kid.
Yeah.
May I suggest maybe the weekend after Memorial Weekend?
What's Memorial Day this year? Is that? I do not see this. Hold on 1 second. It's
Memorial Day is
May 31. Yeah, it's very late this year. Yeah, May 31st. Yeah.
Talking about June 4th or 5th.
Yeah, what did you say, Ms. Almelo? That June,
It's June 5th or 6th, if it's on a Saturday.
are there any school day, and I noticed some clerical days, but they're usually not until June, right?
Well,
Yeah, we do have some clerical we have a clerical half day, and we have Brooklyn Day,
Oh, okay.
June,
When is Brooklyn Queens Day this year?
Brooklyn Queens
What, the
Day.
first Thursday?
June
Oh,
3rd.
yeah.
It's Chancellor's Day, June 3rd. Yeah.
Yes, June 3rd.
Yeah, but it's staff development for teachers, right? But I guess so. Yeah.
So what about that weekend?
The Saturday, we're looking at the Saturday.
Mhm.
Of which one?
June 5th.
There's a holiday on May 13th, Thursday. Eid al-Fitr, and so that's another option if we wanted to pick a non-weekend day, but obviously religious day.
Oh, that's a religious day?
Eid. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Well, unless we do the 12th.
Yeah, what about the 12th?
6/12/2021.
12th of May.
Of June?
June.
Okay.
Then it would be a summer reading.
Then it would be summer reading. Yeah.
Yep.
Summer reading.
Yeah. Again, I think that's great for summer reading. I don't think I think that's very late for if we wanted to do anything else on top of it.
I know we were talking about doubling up a lot, but I know Beverly's not here because I know there's the spelling bee. And let's not forget Jackie Robinson Day, FYI. But anyway,
When is Jackie Robinson Day?
it's April 15th.
Okay.
Thursday, April 15th.
All right. Well, look, if we would have a book fair later in June, then obviously we have time, and so why don't we give some thought as to whether we have the capacity or interest in putting together a summer resource fair of sorts, and then let's discuss it at the April meeting, and then we would have, if we would plan something in mid-May, we'd have a month and a half to pull it together, which I think is doable. What do you think?
That sounds good. I'll keep the date that we have here, just a tentative, and try to gather the resources so that when we come back to the next meeting, we can make sure we confirm the date.
Which one did you put down for now?
I put down just for now, June 12th, just to, we can ponder around that date. So
Yes.
some holidays and some days off in June for the summer reading. And
Summer reading book fair. Great.
And give us time to reach out to some schools and let them know what's going on so they could send their students.
Okay.
And I also wanted to find out, what is Jackie Robinson Day? What's happening at that event?
So Jackie Robinson Day happens every year, April 15th. And like the baseball, come on, baseball fans. That's like a big day in baseball where they acknowledge his number, which was 42. And so baseball fields all over will be celebrating him. And with us being Crown Heights, we must begin to celebrate such a color barrier in our community. And, even if we just do a virtual celebration, we can communicate. We don't have to wait till the meeting to put this together. We know people in the community that would speak or share memories, or get the Brooklyn Historical Society, or just, different ones to chime on and we honor Jackie Robinson. I mean, Crown Heights, this is an educational opportunity as well. So, yeah, big deal.
And so is it, which group organizes that, Melanie?
I believe it's the National Baseball, you know, that those people. Let me see.
All right.
The league.
Baseball league, yeah.
But I'm saying for us to put on our own stuff.
Is the school, Jackie Robinson, are they having anything like an event or some kind of fair at the school?
I'm personally not aware of anyone in our community doing anything. But in one of our meetings, someone did, maybe it was Beverly, that said that I think she said Hakeem Jeffries, no, or maybe she said, who did she say? She mentioned somebody that she said was doing something at one point, but I don't think they've been doing it anymore. But I'm not aware of any celebration by anyone in our community.
Okay. Well, you know, minimum, I wonder, maybe Mr. Roberts can chime in on this as well. So we did end up setting up an Instagram account for CB9 Education Committee, and so we made a very modest start to reach out. But that's certainly something to consider, whether we can build out a social media presence there so we can start sharing either kind of celebratory moments like this, or, you know, resources, or obviously just general outreach when we have an event going on. Because that will require us to put in some effort to get the social media channel to actually get some followers. Because at minimum, we could, you know, provide some Jackie Robinson resources or background, or at least, you know, participate in that celebration.
Oh yeah, I definitely follow the foundation. They know my name. It's not name.
Mr. Roberts, are you on? I know you're on the bus. I think you said in the chat, and you were able to chime in. And I'll reach out to you separately. I think one of the things I want to see if we can do collectively as a committee is see if we can, you know, get some start getting some followers on that social media account. You know, I think I got a few people on. I think Melanie got a few people on, but we have some work to do, I think, to give that a bit of a following. Because at minimum, right, as a committee, being able to push resources out, I think that might be one vehicle to do that with. Because we currently don't have an email list or anything else.
What is the handle?
That's a great question. Look it up.
At CB9 Education.
There you go.
I didn't hear you.
Is at CB9 Education. I'll put it in the chat.
Yep, CB9 Education. CB number 9 Education. Great. 9 followers.
You got 10 now.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
There you go, 10 followers. Love it. Yeah, great. So let's see where we are. It's 8:10. Trucking along. The next topic, the principal and school outreach. There's no updates on that for now. Next topic is the spelling bee. Beverly is not with us today. Lorianne, is that something we've been doing anything on?
I don't think I've gotten anything from Beverly on that. I think Dexter was working on that. It was me, Dexter, and Beverly, and I haven't heard. I don't know if Dexter heard.
Yeah, I think it might have been me, you, and Beverly, but I think the three of us probably need to get together offline.
Definitely, please, because I'm just like, should I reach out to you guys? I honestly.
You want to see if you can get the three of us together and
Definitely. Do you want to try next week? I teach on Mondays and Wednesdays, so next week Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay, so so it's me, you, and Beverly.
Yeah, the three of us.
Okay, so I'll send the email right now.
That's great. Okay. Melanie, anything about the specialized high school test? I know we have an April presentation. Is there anything else we need to discuss about that at the moment?
Not right now. I mean, it is the diversity team, which would be great for them to be able to speak with us. They were originally scheduled for February, so we shot them out a new request for them to be able to join us for April. So we will see the response. At least we finally got a contact, so that's a good thing.
That's great. That's great. Okay. All right. I had two more things that I wanted to mention, and one of them we can also move forward, I think, for an April discussion. I think another thing to consider is whether we can be useful in putting together an after-school resource for families. I think Ms. Randolph said just like the Richardson office, Councilmember Richardson recognizes that is a big sore point, I think, in the community. Lack of after school and the lack of seats in after school. There's simply not enough seats for the kids that need it. But perhaps that's something that we can particularly start focusing on and having a more comprehensive resource available for for parents in District 17. So they just wanted to have that mentioned. I think that's something we can discuss at future meetings to see if that is something we wanted to work on and start collecting for September. Again, the assumption is that. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is there a lack of resources? Because from what I know, in other districts, the enrollment in after-school programs are drastically down.
Currently, yes.
Okay.
That is correct. And let me clarify. Currently, that is absolutely true. I think, and I know as I run an after-school program as well, the numbers are drastically down. People are not comfortable with either, they're either not in school, the school days, even if they're in school, are cut down anyway, right? So, my kid's school is a great example. They're done at 2, right? That's barely a day. So it's true that the current need is not there. But the conversations and just about an hour and a half ago or so, news report about the mayor announcing that he does not expect blended learning to be a thing anymore in September, that the goal is to go to in-person learning, but that there will be a remote option, a full remote option for parents who choose to stay remote. The conversation that the city is not having, and that I think also hopefully is part of the conversation in front of Youth Services on Thursday, is what that means for after school, because it's great if schools are fully in session, but that's only 2/3 of the day for many parents. And so if we get back to quote unquote normal in September, then we do absolutely get back to a significant shortage in free programs, and and some of the other programs may just not be affordable for parents.
I have a question, mainly from Mr. Dwayne. What's his last name? Joseph. And he's asking, do the PTA ever think about applying for a nonprofit status? Have you all heard that question or?
Yeah, a lot of them do. I think most of the schools that would deal with the PTA have nonprofit status.
Okay, now he was talking about if they have nonprofit status of applying, the PTA themselves can apply for or set up an after-school program. So has that been discussed? Oh, okay. And the next thing was the PTA joining another organization that already has the grant, and then the PTA try to partner with them. Has that been discussed? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it done. I think the issue is that the key point is that has the grant, right? The city, the funding mechanism for city-funded after-school programs, either the Compass program or the Sonic middle school program, they've not had a new funding round for years, right? And so it hasn't been prioritized. So they've had funding rounds for renewals, but not for new programs. And so and I think it may be worthwhile at minimum to do a new audit, and this is what Assemblymember Rich's office did, an audit of the status of after-school programs at each school in the district. In fact, Ms. Randolph, would you mind asking Mr. Joseph about that? That report is probably 3 years old at this point. And so they have had a number of changes, but it may be a good starting point to revisit.
What's that question again?
It's an audit or a report that the Richardson's office did on the state of after school in the district, and they listed each one of the schools and the after school programs, availability, and seats. And I think that might be a very good audit to revisit and to renew. And understand what this looks like for September in the district.
All right.
One second, please. All right. I think those are all the different initiatives. I have one question or a question / suggestion about an activity that I'm currently involved in for the community and in collaboration with Plegna and Greenlight Bookstore. We are organizing a panel discussion on helping parents think through camp safety, understanding and kind of, really helping parents trying to understand how to choose a camp and how to think about whether camp is an environment that is safe for them and safe for their child. That is organized for April 8th. So it's Plegna, Greenlight. I think it would be good for CB9 Education Committee to kind of attach or hitch its name to that wagon and do some of their own outreach and have CB9 do outreach to the community to participate or, for families to participate in that panel. How do you feel about that?
I'm sorry, did you say to have 9 parents participate in the panel? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Well, participate as an attended panel, right? So they have an opportunity to access that resource. The panel will be a combination of parents, medical experts, folks from the American Camp Association who guide camps in New York City and New York State, and some camp directors. And it's really just a parent resource to learn a little bit about how they might think through, if you're considering sending your kids to camp, any camp, right? Not any specific camp, but if you're thinking about camp and you're wondering, is it safe? How should I think about this? Then this panel, is designed to help parents consider that.
I think somebody else want to go. I want to take up the.
Go for it, Melody.
We're all quiet.
I think traditionally, depending upon the household and community, I feel like a lot of people are not comfortable sending their children away anywhere. And so opportunities to hear a different perspective would be helpful to get more knowledge on what that looks like for, especially communities of color that are so diverse, our community is so diverse, and it's great. You learn more about your neighbors when you get to go away and,
Yeah, and it's not only overnight camp, but it's also day camp, right? And because I know that plenty of folks, especially now because of the pandemic, who also might be concerned sending their kid to a day camp, understandably. And so having some guidance on how to think through that, I think could be helpful.
Mhm.
Okay, so would everybody be okay if I have CB9 and help promote that as well? Does that make sense?
Sounds like a great idea to me, because especially now during a pandemic, people will be looking for more resources. So to be able to go to the Greenlight bookstore, they will have access to a lot of resources, as well as being able to get important information about sending their children to camp safely.
Yep.
So I agree. I like the idea.
Okay, good. Well, I'll reach back out with some resources to kind of submit. All right. Let's see. I've been meaning to say this is a 718 number that dialed in. Is that a committee member or somebody double dialing? Can you identify yourself? No. 718 number on the line. Committee or community member? Okay. All right, we're on to any other calendar items that we need to be aware of. Okay, none. Going on to item 10, the public comment. I think we had Ms. Foster with us. Ms. Foster, are there any additional comments that you want to share with us and make use of?
I'll volunteer myself to, help out with the book fair, especially. Oh, I'll put my email in the chat, sorry. If you guys need me to reach out to anybody, whether it's nonprofits or, whoever you guys want to attend, or schools you're not able to reach, let me know. And yeah, I'll be bringing my books by. Not this weekend, but probably next weekend. I'm actually in school myself, so like juggling a few things. But you guys are on fire. Keep going.
Thank you. All right.
Sorry, I tagged you on Instagram. Little note, tag everybody. That's the post every week and tag, and so people get used to seeing you online. On the hard
yes, great, and I'll do some outreach to see if we can have some more active effort to push our social media. That's great. Okay, next, let's see. There is an executive committee meeting to prep the board meeting next week. So that means we have a board meeting in the, I guess, hold on a second. Where are we? It is the 9th today. The 23rd, right, is the next full board meeting. I plan to take a moment to and make more of a habit of starting to report out about education committee activities. So I'll plan to do that for next meeting. So the community at large just has an opportunity to hear what's going on and can choose to participate. All right. Any final? Oops. All right. Any final comments or questions?
I just want to say that there will be a Jackie Robinson celebration in Crown Heights, whether CB9 puts it on or not. So I think I'm really passionate about this. And even if I put something on and I invite CB9, this is going down. This is happening.
Melanie, I am, let's do it. I'm game.
What do you
I
plan to
suggest
do? I want to
that
help.
you attend the the Parks Recreation and Culture Committee and make the suggestion. The meeting is tomorrow. It's on Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Melanie, give me the date again, April?
April 15th is when the national,
Yeah,
Thursday, April 15th is when they're having, the official Jackie Robinson Day celebration of National Baseball League, but,
Do a movie night. I'm sure a lot of kids don't know about Jackie Robinson. Like,
Yeah.
the baseball cards used to get in the cereal box. That's
oh man,
that's how I used to know about it.
This is recreation, so attend the meeting on Thursday, make the suggestion and see what help you can get.
Yeah, well, we have a couple minutes left, Melanie. We want to just put together something and try at least to have a mini celebration. I'm game. I think it's it's an important topic. I would agree that there's plenty of kids who don't know.
I'm telling you, I could put together a virtual event for us. I mean, just Julia, what you just talking about baseball cards, like you just took me back. Like, come on, like, oh my God, we totally
Show
had
my
baseball
age.
cards. Like us just having a time to commemorate, share memories, share stories, share the history. Like, oh my God, that'll be so cool.
I do remember going to one of the Assembly Miss Richardson board meetings, and I was talking with the lady, and she remembers when it wasn't, the Ebbets Field like housing. She remembers when it was actually Ebbets Field. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that, because it's like you live in an area, you frequent an area, but I had no idea that there used to be a baseball card there.
Have you ever been in the TD Bank across the street from the housing? They have a massive. I guess it's a reprint, maybe colored in of the stadium. It's fantastic.
Oh,
Where?
In the TD Bank across the street from. There's a TD Bank across the street from Ebbets Field.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, next to the Burger King.
Yeah, next to the Burger King. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I know the artist. I gave him a shout out on my 42nd birthday.
Yes. Not to date yourself. So, well, Melanie, I'm now for virtual Jackie Robinson presentation.
Or if you,
Should we try and put that together?
We got this. We got
Make
this.
the meeting on Thursday. That can
or
be put
you
up.
can just
Have
play
a-
the movie 42. That's an option.
Just play the movie. I want people to talk too.
Oh, you can do that and then have a discussion session. That movie is amazing if you guys haven't seen it and you're
Oh,
celebrating
what?
Jackie
No,
Robinson
it's-
and the actor, right?
Oh yeah, and the public schools would love to have that be a learning opportunity. There you go. Make the flyer. I'll post it.
All right now.
Melanie, let's connect on this and see if we can put something together.
Okay,
Yeah, I got 1,000 followers.
And
Yes.
I'm just gonna drop something in the chat just for you all to have. Since it's Women's History Month, check that out when you get an opportunity. I'll be talking about Ida B. Wells. This is an unrelated CB9 situation.
Hold on a second. Let me just put those things in the minutes. Let me copy these over before I. Yeah, I mean that's good to have additional resources. Oops.
Well, please attend the meeting tomorrow, on Thursday, of the Parks Recreation and Culture Committee. I think that's
Okay.
not the venue. I definitely help you in that. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, 1 second. All right, so any closing comments, statements, or questions?
What do we do about the minutes or like the December, January?
I neglected to have them properly distributed, and so I'll follow up with Leah to make sure that we get those. We have all months except January, I think, and then February. There's no February meeting, and I took minutes on this one, so I'll have those prepared so we can actually review and vote on them properly, because that's certainly something we've not done the right way.
Mhm.
But I'll correct that. Other comments? All right, it is 8:31. This meeting is adjourned. So thank you for joining, and wonderful to see everybody. And we'll see you at the next board meeting. And Melanie, I look forward to hearing from you. Jackie Robinson, let's go.
Yes.
Nice. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good evening. Have a good rest of the evening.
Yes, you too, Ms. Randolph. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
All right, good night.
Keep me posted.
Bye. Have a good evening.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.